To start off my speech, I will start with 4 questions. How concerned are you guys with the controversial topic of child discipline?
Very.
How much do you guys know about child discipline?
Not much.
Do you think that it's right to hit a child when they have disobeyed you?
No.
Do you feel that physical discipline should be banned?
No.
With this speech, I will bring to light the controversial topic of child discipline. I will include the trauma that children experience when parents take physical discipline too far. First, I will talk about how discipline may escalate into abuse. According to the Center of Effective Discipline, a parent who hits a child as a form of discipline can cause a form of cycle to form in a child's life. This means that the child will result to hitting another child in school or in general. This leads to a bigger problem, which is the meaning, monkey see, monkey do. This means that the child will believe that hitting is a form of affection. So if he's in an argument with another child, he'll think that, hey, I don't like what you said, I'm going to hit you, instead of actually talking it out like maybe a 4-year-old would do. Another reason is that the child will resent the parent for using that type of punishment. So if the parent is constantly hitting the child, he will think, hey, my parents don't love me, my parents are hitting me, I don't love them either. But that's not really the case in that situation. Next, I will talk about how spanking can lead into neglect. Children who are neglected have delays in language and comprehension and expression. For example, would be kids in your grade would have a higher reading level and you would be lower because you've been hit so much and you can't really comprehend what's happening around you and you're just traumatized from that. And neglect may lead into death in severe cases that are reported to Child Protective Services. Like, for example, this recent case that happened with the 20 kids that were left in their house and they were chained to the beds. That's severe neglect, but it's still a form of child discipline because the parents were trying to protect their child, or they were psychos. Another point is that almost all experts on this topic oppose physical discipline. So not only is my argument backed up by just facts and studies, it's actually backed up by actual researchers who dedicate their life to this. According to American College of Pediatricians, the American Psychological Association opposes physical punishment. So they've conducted many research on this. They've looked thoroughly through this, and they don't think it's right for you to hit a child. There's too much stuff to back up that it's not right. APA actually offers services to parents to teach them other forms of discipline, of correcting the child misbehavior instead of hitting the child. So they'll offer, it's like a class done by a professor at Harvard, and she teaches the parents how to hold back their anger, take a deep breath, and say, hey, it's a kid, it's not like he doesn't know any better. And she shows him how they can choose another form of discipline instead of that. And the other studies done by APA shows negative outcome of physical discipline. This was shown earlier with my other facts. The American Academy of Pediatricians oppose physical discipline as well. So not only is it just one big association, there's another academy that opposes it as well. Spanking is not recommended by AAP because they've also done research on this, and research shows that spanking does more harm than good. So kids will be traumatized that they've been spanked. Finally, I will talk about how I can impact the child negatively. The brain development in a child is probably one of the most important parts of a child growing up. So if he's hit or whatever, there's many forms of hitting. The brain is affected, so they're slower, and like I said before, and these children tend to fail to develop social and cognitive skills. So they're antisocial, they're more aggressive, and people don't want to be around people like that because why would you be around someone that's aggressive? And they are slower at learning, according to Emily Cuddy. So not only are they exposed to this trauma, they're just slower, and it's not really their fault. Physical punishment may increase the probability of developing undesirable behavior. Like I said before, antisocial behavior and physical injury. So not only are you harming the kid mentally, you're also hitting him, like leaving bruises on him. And aggression is often fostered by those children who are spanked at least once a week. Many people can argue that, hey, what am I supposed to do from the grocery market, and how am I supposed to discipline him if he's out of line? Like, you're in public, how are you supposed to discipline him? Am I supposed to put him on timeout at the grocery market? It really doesn't matter because the kid's still going to be traumatized, to be honest. In conclusion, people may argue their side and not budge because this is how things are and how they've always been. But it is always better to know both sides. In the beginning, I asked you some questions, and I hope you see my side and why I don't believe in physical punishment.
Amazing!